Hello and welcome to In Depth. I'm Tina Jha. Over the last 3 months, over 200 men with sniffer dogs, drones and trap cameras scoured the forest in Maharashtra's Yavatmal district on the trail of an elusive man-eater tigress. Avni or T1 was a 6-year-old tigress with cubs up to a year old. Due to the fear it caused the villagers, the Maharashtra Forest Department issued a shoot-to-kill order to eliminate her. Although the order was to be used as a last resort, it was challenged in courts all the way to the Supreme Court. In September this year, the top court refused to restrain the Forest Department from killing T1 if it needed to. After 53 days of massive hunt, the man-eater tigress was shot dead in Ralegaon by a sharpshooter, leading to protests by wildlife activists. Our topic in depth today is the controversy surrounding Avni's killing. What was the need to eliminate her? And a look at why tigers turn man-eaters. Shortly after her death, the Maharashtra Forest Department reported that Avni died due to excessive internal bleeding and heart attack. While the villagers in Yavatmal celebrated her death, animal lovers argued that the tigress could have been captured alive. Over the last 2 years, residents of Ralegaon area of Yavatmal district in Maharashtra had been living in fear of a tigress. It had been responsible for the deaths of 13 people during the period. On the night of November 2nd, the tigress named T1 or Avni was shot dead in a forest department operation. Sharpshooter Asghar Ali, the son of famous sharpshooter Nawab Shafqat Ali, killed the man-eater tigress at compartment number 149 of the Borati forest in Ralegaon.
Actually, when you look at tiger, any tiger cannot behave what complaint was made against that tigress Avni. Tiger has its own dynamics, prey-predator relationship, and probably human beings would be the last animal to be eaten. And if Avni was doing such things since long time, why it was not noticed? And if it was noticed, it would have cured by putting her down, looking at her other behavior, what is the problem in that habitat, whether prey base is there or not. So these factors would have looked after before eliminating one animal which is very precious. Because when you look at the free-ranging tigers, numbers are very few.
For 3 months, Forest Department officials were planning to catch Avni with the help of latest technology. They had deployed sniffer dogs, trap cameras, drones and a hang glider, expert trackers, sharpshooters and around 200 ground personnel for the task. The urine of another tigress, an American perfume, was spread in some parts of the compartment to attract Avni's attention. Forest officials claim they tried to catch the tigress alive. The sharpshooter fired a tranquilizer dart, but the tigress, instead of falling down, charged at him with a roar which made him shoot it in self-defense. After she became motionless, forest officials rushed her to a hospital in Nagpur, where she was declared dead.
I remember in Bandhavgarh it was happened, and there was a tigress with 2 cubs, and which she went close to the village, and she has killed cow. She was sitting on the prey, and then villagers tried to disturb her, and she reacted and killed a couple of animals, and finally it was decided to remove that animal, and that animal was sent to zoo. So many times it was positive, like in Bandhavgarh itself, I remember there were 2 cubs which were blamed to be killing human beings. They were kept inside the Bandhavgarh Tiger Reserve itself by fencing, and now they become very interesting and they were reintroduced in wilderness area. So those aspects need to be explored before you eliminate any wild tiger.
Tigress Avni could have killed 13 villagers between June 2016 and August 2018. Around 20,000 people in 26 villages were terrorized by its presence. In September this year, the Supreme Court said Avni could be shot at sight. As many as 90 camera traps were installed at 45 strategic points to get pictures on its movement along with her 2 cubs, but they were never sighted. In October, an elephant that was part of a hunting group ran astray overnight and trampled a woman to death. The unrest among local residents made Maharashtra Foreign Minister Sudhir Mungantiwar direct the Forest Department to tranquilize the beast. The operation to kill Avni triggered protests from wildlife activists who moved the Supreme Court, which however approved the shooting. Besides PILs in the Supreme Court and the Bombay High Court, several wildlife groups and activists strongly opposed plans to eliminate Avni, since it would also mean near certain death for her 2 dependent young ones. Online petitions and social media campaigns, demonstrations and protests had been running for several months in a bid to save the tigress and her cubs. Avni's death caused outrage among animal rights activists. People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals India said the tigress was killed illegally to satisfy a hunter's lust for blood, in contempt of court and in apparent violation of the Wildlife Protection Act. PETA India called for an investigation into the operation and said it should be treated as a wildlife crime. Women and Child Development Minister Menka Gandhi also termed it a ghastly murder, questioning why a private shooter was hired by the state government. Leaders of other political parties also lashed out at the Maharashtra government for the manner in which the operation was handled. Following the escalating war of words, the Minister of Forest in Maharashtra, Sudhir Mungantiwar, clarified that the tigress had to be killed as she charged at the shooter.
कोर्ट ने भी कहा कि ऐसे वातावरण में उस वाघिन का बंदोबस्त करना, उसको पकड़ना या मारना, ये एनटीसीए के गाइडलाइन से उचित है। तो एनटीसीए के गाइडलाइन के आधार पर ही ये निर्णय हुआ है। वन विभाग के कर्मचारी उस वाघिन के शत्रु तो हो नहीं सकते। 1.5 महीने से उस वाघिन को पकड़ने की कोशिश की, मगर जब उस वाघिन को पकड़ने के लिए ट्रैंक्विलाइज किया गया, उसके बाद उस वन कर्मचारी पे हमला हुआ, तो उस समय वन कर्मचारियों ने उसे गोली मारना ये सही समझा।
Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis also termed it a sad incident and assured that any procedural lapse in the operation against Avni would be probed. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. Tigers have captured the imagination of human beings down the ages, both for their majestic appearance and their ferocity when their habitats are threatened. Some of them have attained fame for the reign of terror and the number of human victims they claimed in villages as well as human habitations in their vicinity. Let's take a look at some of these famous man-eaters of India.
Stories of tigers turned man-eaters are well known across India. Tales of tigers on the prowl, menacing human beings have become legends down the ages. Men like Jim Corbett, who ended their terror in the jungles of Uttarakhand and Uttar Pradesh, have been regarded as heroes. The Kumaon region of Uttarakhand is famous for man-eating Bengal tigers. One of the fiercest man-eaters include the Champavat man-eating tigress. It is reported to have killed up to 436 human beings, earning the title of being the most prolific individual man-eater and even the worst human serial killer. Jim Corbett killed the Champavat tiger in 1911. 2 tigers, a mother and son in Chaugarh forests, are reported to have killed 64 people. The Thak man-eater tigress killed 4 human beings. In South India, the tiger of Segur was a young, majestic big cat that killed 5 people in the Blue Mountains or Nilgiri Hills of Tamil Nadu. It became a man-eater due to a disability that prevented it from hunting its natural prey. Another tiger from Mundachipalam was also known as one of the man-eater tigers in Tamil Nadu. In East India, the Sundarbans is famous for its number of tiger attacks. Sundarbans is the largest mangrove forests in the world and home to over 500 big cats or Bengal tigers. The man-eater tigers of Sundarbans regularly kill 50 or 60 people in a year and live very close to human villages. In West India, the Bhimashankar forest is a beautiful area near Pune. The Bhimashankar Wildlife Sanctuary here was home to a man-eater tiger that killed villagers. The tiger killed over 100 people before it was shot by hunter Kenneth Anderson in the 1940s. In North India, the Dudhwa National Park in Uttar Pradesh became famous for several man-eaters in the 1970s. As many as 24 people were killed by a tigress Tara that was shot dead. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Tiger poaching in India has increased in the past several years. However, the government has taken several measures, including bringing out guidelines for tiger safaris to reduce pressure of ecotourism, protect habitats of the big cats, and also conserve its population. Here's an account of the important wildlife conservation initiatives that the government has undertaken.
Tiger poaching has seriously impacted the survival of tigers. Tigers are the terminal consumers in the ecological food pyramid. Tiger conservation is expected to result in conservation of all the trophic levels in the ecosystem. Keeping in view the recent human encroachment, the Indian government did take effective initiatives to conserve wildlife in the country.
One should understand that the importance of this particular animal. If country is known for many other good things, tiger is also one of them. And knowing the fact that India is the last country who is carrying the largest number of tiger, and entire world looking at the India, that how you are going to protect your tiger. So therefore, we have a lot of responsibility before doing anything.
Some of them include the Protection Act of 1972 that prohibits trade of rare and endangered species. Under the Act, one of the most successful wildlife conservation ventures, Project Tiger, was initiated way back in 1973. It not only contributed to the conservation of tigers, but also the entire ecosystem. In 1973, the project was launched in the Corbett National Park of Uttarakhand. This project is sponsored by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change by the Government of India in 9 reserves of the different states. Today, these projects are running in 17 states and their number has increased to 50. The government has set up a tiger protection force to combat poachers and funded relocation of villagers to minimize human-tiger conflicts. The other initiative launched by the Government of India is the National Tiger Conservation Authority that was launched in 2005, following the recommendations of the Tiger Task Force. It was given statutory status by 2006 amendment of the Wildlife Protection Act. NTCA was formed under the Ministry of Government, Forest and Climate Change. It ensures protective measures and tries to reduce the dependency of local communities on the tiger reserves. The NTCA is responsible for implementing Project Tiger in order to protect the endangered tiger species.
A Project Tiger was established, and there were 9 protected areas came into fold, and finally now we have about 39 tiger reserves in the country. But the basic idea behind the Project Tiger was to bring a good number of officials and researchers. When in 2006-2004 there was a problem in Panna and Sariska, then there was a Tiger Task Force which has suggested to create another authority, and now we have National Tiger Conservation Authority with a member secretary as the head of the authority who looks after tiger reserves across the country.
Meanwhile, a special tiger protection force was also formed based on the recommendations by the NTCA to protect tigers in the Mudumalai Tiger Reserve in the Nilgiris. Similarly, the Wildlife Protection Society of India, founded in 1994 by Belinda Wright, has implemented a successful conservation campaign around the tiger reserve areas in central India. The campaign was launched in April 2011. Apart from this, village rehabilitation package is also given to people living in sensitive areas in the Tiger project. Voluntary village relocation has been done in many reserves, especially from the core area. 10 lakh rupees per family is being provided for relocation.
You see, tiger is pride. It's a national animal. So we need to look at its value. It is not simple yellow animal with black stripe, but it is an animal which gives you water. It is an animal which brings prosperity in the neighborhood villages. So therefore, if you look at that animal at ecosystem level, probably majority of the issue will be addressed. Tiger is not a simple animal, but it is sitting on the top of the ecological pyramid, looking at the entire forest health. So you want to be healthy, if you want to keep a lot of water in the country, you protect tiger. There is no alternative.
For the security and protection of tigers, India has taken several steps, not only at the national level but also at the international level. An engagement has been signed with Nepal in order to prevent illegal trade of wildlife across the border. Simultaneously, there has been an agreement with Bangladesh to protect the Royal Bengal tiger. The Global Tiger Initiative was launched in 2008 as a global alliance of governments, international organizations, civil society, the conservation and scientific communities with the aim of working together to save wild tigers from extinction. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
More than half of world's tigers are found in India. Due to unrelenting efforts to conserve the endangered animal, the population of the majestic wildcat has increased in the country from 1,411 in 2009 to 2,226 in 2015.
India's national animal, the Royal Bengal tiger, is found in 19 states of the country. The body length of the majestic male predator ranges from 275 to 290 centimeters and of the female around 260 centimeters. The size and color vary according to the geographic location and climate. Tiger stripes are individually as unique as human fingerprints. The tiger is solitary and territorial, and the territory of an adult male may encompass territories of 2 to 7 females. Tigers occupy an important place in Indian culture. Since ages, tiger has been a symbol of magnificence, power, fierceness, bravery and valor. In Hindu mythology, tiger is the vehicle of goddess Durga. In olden times, hunting of tigers was considered to be one of the highest acts of bravery by kings and noblemen. India has over half the world's tiger population. The wildcat population in India has seen a 5.8% annual growth in recent years. According to the latest government tiger census report released in 2015 by the National Tiger Conservation Authority, the current tiger population is estimated at 2,226, ranging from a minimum of 1,945 to a maximum of 2,491. In 2011, there were 1,706 tigers, and in 2006, there were just 1,411 tigers. The process of estimating the number of tigers in a given area is called tiger census. Tiger census provides an estimate of tiger number, density, and change in tiger indices, a measure of tiger occupancy in a given area. The census is conducted at regular intervals to know the current tiger population and population trends. Besides estimating the number of tigers, the method also helps to gather information on the density of the tiger population and associated prey. Many different methods are used to estimate the number of tigers. The most commonly used technique in the past was pug mark census technique. In this method, the imprints of the pug mark of the tiger are recorded and used as a basis for identification of individuals. One of the most recent methods used to estimate the number of tigers is camera trapping. In camera trapping, the photograph of the tiger is taken and individuals are differentiated on the basis of the stripes on the body. In the latest technique of DNA fingerprinting, tigers can be identified from their scats or poop. Another report classifies the tiger-occupied forests in India into 5 landscape complexes. These are the Shivalik Gangetic Plains landscape, the Central Indian and Eastern Ghats landscape complex, the Western Ghats landscape, the Northeastern Hills and Brahmaputra floodplains, and the Sundarbans. Within the Shivalik Hills and Gangetic Plains landscape, tigers occupy 10,017 square kilometers of forested habitats with an estimated population size of 485, which is a mean value from a range of 427 to 543. In the central Indian and Eastern Ghats landscape, tiger presence was reported from 41,974 square kilometers with an estimated tiger population of 688, which is a mean value from a range of 596 to 780. In the Western Ghats landscape, about 29,511 square kilometers of forested habitats have tiger presence with an estimated population size of 776, a mean value from a range of 685 to 861. The northeastern hills and Brahmaputra floodplains reported tiger occupancy in 5,821 square kilometers of forests with an estimated population size of 201, which is a mean of 174 to 212. In the Sundarbans, tigers occupy 1,841 square kilometers of mangrove forests with an estimated population size of 76, which is a mean of 62 to 96. However, many of the tiger populations, particularly those outside protected reserves, are fragmented and suffer from intense poaching pressure, reduced prey base, and overused habitat. Large development projects such as mining, thermal and hydroelectric dams are also taking their toll on the tiger's habitat. The National Tiger Conservation Authority is conducting the 4th tiger census in 4 phases this year. The census is likely to be released in 2019. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Tigers are among the most threatened big cats. Fewer than 4,000 tigers survive in the wild, most of them in pockets of protected land areas in Southeast Asia and Russia's Far East. Poaching and loss of habitat are among the biggest threats to the world's tiger population. Loss of habitat is mostly due to climate change and agricultural and industrial development.
Lions, leopards and tigers are all part of the Felidae family of cats, which originated in Africa and share a common ancestor. At some point, probably around 2 million years ago, one offshoot of Felidae migrated east towards Asia, and those cats evolved into orange, black and white striped beasts as we know today.
Pre-independence, when you look at it, some literature says that there were more than 40,000 tigers. But the moment we got independence, license were given freely to kill animal. And then at that time, people were inviting foreigners to kill tigers, and slowly tigers were eliminated. And then in 1969, I remember Kailash Sankla raised this issue. That issue was very interesting, that he clearly suggested that we are every time says that we have maximum number of tiger, but where are tiger? He tried to use Pugmark technique to estimate tiger population. He came to know that it's less than 2,000, and then he suggested then government that do something, and a Project Tiger came into existence at that time.
Larger subspecies such as Siberian tiger tend to live in northern, colder areas like eastern Russia and northeastern China. Smaller subspecies live in southern, warmer countries such as India, Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar, Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, Malaysia and Indonesia. They live in arid forests, flooded mangrove forest, tropical forest and taiga, depending on the subspecies. There were once 9 subspecies of tigers: Bengal, Siberian, Indo-Chinese, South Chinese, Sumatran, Malaysian, Caspian, Javan and Bali. Out of the 9 subspecies, the last 3 have already been extinct and the rest are endangered. In India, in 2006, there were 1,411 tigers, which increased to 1,706 in 2010 and 2,226 in 2014. In 2016, of the 13 countries with tiger ranges, India had the largest population with 2,226. Russia and Indonesia had 433 and 371 tigers respectively. China had fewer than 5 and Vietnam fewer than 7 tigers. Around 97% of the world tiger population has perished in the last 100 years. And according to the latest statistics, only 3,890 tigers are left in the world, out of which 2,226 are in India. The largest of all the Asian big cats, tigers rely primarily on sight and sound rather than smell for hunting. They typically hunt alone and stalk prey. A tiger can consume up to 88 pounds of meat at one time. On average, tiger gives birth to 2 to 4 cubs every 2 years. If all the cubs in one litter die, a second litter may be produced within 5 months. Tigers generally gain independence at 2 years of age and attain sexual maturity at age 3 or 4 for females and at 4 or 5 years for males. Juvenile mortality is high. However, as about half of all the cubs do not survive more than 2 years. Tigers have been known to reach up to 20 years of age in the wild. Males of the largest subspecies, the Amur Siberian tiger, may weigh up to 660 pounds. For males of the smallest subspecies, the Sumatran tiger, the upper weight range is around 310 pounds. Within each subspecies, males are heavier than females. Tigers are mostly solitary, apart from associations between mother and offspring. Individual tigers have a large territory and the size is determined mostly by the availability of prey. Bringing tigers back from the brink takes commitment on a global scale. Faced with this challenge, tiger range countries took a stand and set an ambitious species conservation goal: double the number of wild tigers by 2022, the next year of the tiger. The goal is called T/2. Saving tigers is about more than restoring a single species. As a large predator, tiger plays an important role in maintaining a healthy ecosystem. Every time we protect a tiger, we protect around 25,000 acres of forest, which sustains wildlife and local communities and supply people around the world with clean air, water, food and products.
Old phenomena, I don't know, but it's a very old phenomena. And with the help of this International Tiger Day, there is one benefit that people have started looking at tiger from different perspective. And person like Josh Scheller, who was the first to write Deer in Tiger, the first scientific book which published and now being treated as a very important book. He also suggested that now we need to convince government. Research alone might not be effectively utilized unless government is convinced that tiger is needed.
Every year, 29th July is celebrated as the International Tiger Day. This was initiated in 2010 and was founded at an international summit that had been called in response to the shocking news that 97% of all wild tigers had disappeared in the last century, with only around 3,000 left alive. Tigers are on the brink of extinction, and International World Tiger Day aims to bring attention to this fact and to try to halt their decline. Many factors have caused their numbers to fall, including habitat loss, climate change, hunting and poaching. And Tiger Day aims to protect and expand their habitats and raise awareness of the need for conservation. Many international organizations are involved in the day, including the WWF and IFAW and the Smithsonian Institute. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And that's it from us in today's edition of In Depth. You can also watch our episodes online on YouTube and Twitter and get back to us with your feedback and suggestions. Thanks for your time.